we need to think, the parliament needs to think, the legislature needs to think about laws that will also give some protection to man. Now this kind of frustration that is being setting in every husband who's harassed, that frustration could lead to a lot of other consequences. The fact that you cannot go to the police station, you cannot go to the court and say, look, my wife is beating up, may in fact turn him into a violent man. We don't know the consequences that this kind of frustration that is setting in can cause.
Pratibha, the caller said the ego of a woman. How do you say? What do you have to say about that? When it's a victim, a woman, until her ego is awakened, she doesn't react back. Do you think it's an ego for women in both the cases, victim and in the oppressor?
See, I say, any problem when there are two people, so in a relationship, it's the ego which causes the most of the problems. So, and when he's talking about the ego of the woman, so when they enter into the marriage, they just leave everything, as Vani was mentioning. So they just leave everything of themselves and try to accept the husband, the family, the children as hers. She sees herself as in the mirror of all these people. So that's how we have been brought up. So so it's not just the ego of the woman. So the day she realizes that, okay, I'm a person, then she realizes that, okay, somebody is abusing me.
So when you went to the police stations, how easy was it for you? Or how
it was not easy for me too. I had to bribe the police to take my complaint. It was not easy for me too. Of course, there are laws to protect women, but how much of it is implemented? How much protection are we getting here is the question. When we go to the court of law, it's not easy for me to get maintenance, as I said, and I'm still fighting for it. I've come to a stage, it's like, I don't want a penny from him, I just want a divorce. I'm in that stage. What will my child get? He's suffering. What happened to the standard of living we were in? So, though I come from a background, like my mom has been a social activist, she's a founder member of a social group in Mysore. Though I come from such a background, I've been seeing all these things. The percentage of women being abused is increasing day by day. Of course, the percentage of men being abused also, it's like coming to light now. But percentage of women being abused, it's increasing. It's not reduced. It's not reduced with the education, women being more educated. No, it's not being reduced.
Okay. In fact, I just want to tell this. As a woman is becoming more independent financially, she's being abused even more. That financial aspect is added. She doesn't even have the freedom to give what she wants from her money to her side of the family.
It's not just
the financial thing is making her even more vulnerable to all these kind of things.
Okay. See, basically to echo Pratibha's views herself, she is a victim and she's the one who is not getting justice from the courts. While if she had been on the other side, she would have got justice by now. That's what we are saying. Typically, if you see the statistics, more than 98% of the dowry cases and the domestic violence cases that have been filed have been proved to be false and thrown out. It's a very, very small number that has some kind of element of truth in it. So, Vani was saying earlier that there is domestic violence against women. There's no doubt about that. And there could be many reasons. But the fundamental reason behind that is that the man's affections are elsewhere, which is when he uses any excuse he can get. There's no salt in the food, you're not dressed correctly, you're going out at odd hours, you're going to your mother's house too often. It could be any excuse. If he's using an excuse to perpetuate domestic violence, then there's infidelity. If the woman is foisting a false domestic violence case, okay, here a domestic abuse, I'm differentiating from, say, an argument or a fight. Okay, it could be an altercation. Something happens, one person throws a plate, the other person throws a plate. That's an altercation, but systematic abuse. Beating with a chair, beating every day, throwing away the food because he has already eaten dinner. So that kind of domestic abuse, if that is there, okay, then there is somebody else. So if a woman is filing a false domestic violence case, it's almost 100% guarantee that it's at the behest of someone else, whom the husband may not even know about. 90% of the time he doesn't know about that other person yet. Okay. You might find out later. But that is the only reason why there is some kind of other thing.
This concept about the woman going to the husband's house, no, I think that's obsolete.
That's not true.
Because that's not happening anymore. Could have been the case earlier. Now, if you go to the family court, and if you talk to anybody who's now like into conciliation, you can ask them. The highest number of divorce cases are youngsters who are all below 30 years of age, and who are all, most of them working in software firms in Bangalore, and different areas. They are working, who have all moved in, where the husband and wife probably have met in the workplace and married. People who are living on their own in Bangalore, who have come from elsewhere, different parts of the country. Now these divorce cases are plenty. Now why do, obviously the divorce is happening because there's some stress in. Now the question of the woman having come somewhere else and left everything and adapting to the husband, all those things are not very relevant in today, at least in the city.
No, at least in the city also it's a very small percentage, because how many software professionals, that women are there?
No, I'm giving numbers. I'm saying that there's plenty of them.
Yeah, there could be plenty, but
when you see the statistics as a society,
accepted into the family as their own daughter these days. Okay, most of the time there are a percentage of this very traditional, very conservative families has different views. But
Even some men, they will not come out and tell. There is another problem with the men; they will not share their feelings outside. But if something happened with the woman, they are expressed to share their feeling.
Okay.
But men will always hide their feeling, and because of that, the suicide rate is going high.
I don't agree with that. See, even now when you see how many women callers did we get? It's 100% men. 2 callers, 2 men. How many callers, women callers did we get?
Answers the question. Because they're not calling, because they can redress their grievance elsewhere.
Because there is
no, I don't think.
They cannot make
an open call.
welfare.
They cannot make an open call. I don't agree with that.
If you'll go to the police will not accept because you are a man.
And as a lawyer, let me finish this off. As a lawyer, I would prefer having the woman as my client, because it's easier to get her whatever she wants. When you take up a case, you want to win. You want to get relief for your client.
No, I think.
So I would like if a woman comes to me and says, "Look, this is what is happening to me. My husband is beating me up," rather than the husband coming and telling me, "My wife is beating me up. I am being abused." Because it's very tough to.
Yeah, probably that is because the case is very simple, because it's the truth. Handling a truth is more easier than handling which does not exist.
No, that is not the truth.
See, I'll tell you.
Actually, that is not the truth.
No.
So I am talking legally.
So when you say in your profession, how many of the men are victimized?
The more men are suffering more than the women. See,
I don't agree with your comments.
And one more thing, like men's not today they are suffering. They are suffering even from the past days. I'll tell you the scenarios. Like you think about the old age when the men used to go for their wars and other things, and there used to be even they have a life risks when they are going out. The women who are safe in the house, they need the protection. Okay, but men who are going out for the daily work, they have a high risk. It can be bomb blast. It can be some accident.
Okay, that's an interesting thing. Well, I'll quickly take a thought there. Something that I'll let you have a last thought there.
Yeah.
Women who are suffering in marriage, what do you suggest? Where do you draw a line? A quick thought from you. When you come out and say, what is the first step? First step, go and file a complaint, or
a woman, if she has come out of her house against her husband or her in-laws, to a police station or to a legal advisor or even to a friend or relative calling for help, means she has suffered enough, and then no woman will come out immediately. I'm sure majority of the women, in a marriage of 2-3 years, or just by one beating, or just by many women don't. Many women don't even. If she has come out to that extent, that means she has suffered a lot. She has given enough try. She has asked the husband itself to sit and talk and sort it out. And she has given, and when she feels really hopeless and she sees no other, when she sees no other option, and she's scared of something, and if she sees going out is the only option, only then she'll come out, because no woman wants to lose her family life. No woman wants to unnecessarily bring out everything in the limelight. Most of the women do not. No, let me complete, please. Okay, that means today she really needs help.
Okay,
and in that situation, when she goes to a police station saying something like this has happened, something like that has happened, immediately the reaction of the police is, you wait here, you come back in the afternoon, I will call him, I will talk to him. When you go to the police station together in the afternoon, probably he has taken a bribe from the other side or what, I don't know. Or he says, go home, adjust. The word adjust for a woman, every time they say, adjust. Why should they? I've never seen, very openly any man being told, adjust.
Okay, on that note, I'll very quick thought.
Basically, I don't agree with what Vani has said, not in terms of the number of women being abused. Yes, there are quite a few women being abused. They are still in the closet, but those who complain, the vast majority of them are fake complaints, false complaints. Women suffer for years and years and years till they die. They will die with the abuse, but they will not go and complain. But a woman who is actually being the criminal would take the first pretext, the first excuse, and make a false complaint. The majority of complaints are false.
Absolutely wrong.
That's
Okay,
absolutely
okay.
wrong.
No.
I made a complaint.
Okay, Mr. Purari, you have to help me out on this. Well, I'm very sorry.
I agree with you.
See,
No, okay, I
women,
have to end.
they'll sit in the police station and they'll